politics in this op-ed. Quote, "The left is wrong. I am a warrior, not a victim."
Retired Sergeant First Class Gregory A. Stube and the author of Conquer Anything joins us with his incredible story. Thank you so much for joining us. We are both familiar with your story. Most of the people watching are probably not. So tell us what happened to you in Afghanistan and what you've done fighting for this country.
Well, I spent 23 years active duty Army, and it's such an honor for me. But in Afghanistan, after so many years of service already, the unthinkable happened, and I was the one wounded. I had been a medical sergeant, so treating the wounds of others had been my primary role. But now it was me, and I got to feel what being a patient feels like.
Right, so you're a tough guy, you can take on any challenge, but all of a sudden your body's damaged, and you have a choice. Do you feel bad for yourself, or do you make what's left of you stronger? What decision did you make?
Well, I think at the time, you know, the words wounded warrior came together, and I don't really like them coming together. I think you have to choose one. You're either wounded or you're a warrior, and I didn't want to betray the kind of honor that it took to raise my right hand and swear to serve in the first place. So if other people getting wounded still allowed it to be the right choice, it shouldn't change just because it's me. I volunteered, and I think that really keeps me from being a victim.
You wrote this amazing op-ed, "The left is wrong. I am a warrior, not a victim." Let me read a quote from this op-ed on foxnews.com. "We shouldn't allow ourselves to be deceived by the left's identity politics. The left too often insists we behave as victims of the powerful, of our physical limitations, and more. We must instead define ourselves by what's inside us." Can you explain that?
Yeah. Well, and I don't mean to be politically charged by any of this, but when I think about serving something greater than myself, it brings me to a place where I'm thinking of George Washington, who's on the Purple Heart. I think of John F. Kennedy, who said, Democrat, and he said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I'm still interested in what I can do for my country. And all I keep hearing from the left is what my country should do for me. But I want to get to work and save this thing, because we're facing perils even on our home front now. And warriors like me are crying a little bit inside, because what we fought to prevent on the home front is happening by and large around the world now, right at home.
All right, tell me about what your dad said. It was quite moving when he said to you, and what's in the short term and what's in the long term?
Well, Dad always told me where to find sympathy, and it was only in the dictionary for him. And sympathy, it can pay very well in the short run. And I experienced that as a wounded veteran in a grateful nation where everyone wants to pay you back for what you've done for them and their freedom. I feel bad for Vietnam veterans, and I want to say welcome home to them. Some of them haven't heard that yet. But we're a part of a grateful nation, and so my dad needed to tell me, sympathy can pay well in the short run, but it'll steal your soul from you if you adopt it as a principle. And it'll lower the common denominator of joy in any room.
It's all in your book, Conquer Anything. Great story. Thanks for sharing it, Gregory Stube.
I know that you're a father and you're a husband. Your wife, through tears, said she was so glad to get a phone call and not a knock on the door. And so are we. Thank you for writing this book, Conquer Anything, a Green Beret's Guide to Building Your A-Team. Sergeant First Class Stube, thank you for being with us, and thanks for fighting for our country.
Thank you. Such an honor.
All right, coming up straight ahead, the professor who slammed Barbara Bush after her death still has a job, but the movement to fire her is gaining momentum. The details next.